Hi guys,
Hiya.
we're just going to do a quick Q&A because loads of you have been asking questions on the YouTube comments and on Patreon and stuff like that, wanting to know a bit more about us and sort of our property that we bought. So we're going to run through some that we've got together from your suggestions. So, age of the boys and what animals we've got. So, go on.
Well, Jack is 2 and 5 months old. Yeah, and Thomas he's just had his first birthday. So there's 16 months between the boys. And we've got Bertie, he's 14, our Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And Buzz that we got from the rescue, when he was 9 weeks old?
I think he's 3, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 3 on Christmas Day. And we got Remy in November, I think, November. And he's 5, so he'll be 6 this year. And then, oh my goodness, how many chickens have we got?
No idea now. Well, we just had how many? 28 turn up the other day, so we've probably got like 50 chickens wandering around somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
The problem is with the chickens is we used to pen them in when we first got here, but now they have complete free reign over all the farm and actually all of the village. They just go wherever they want and then they all come back at night and get locked in safely. So we kind of like lose track of how many we've got because some will disappear into a bush and then come out with babies. So
yeah,
we've got
they're
a lot.
A nightmare.
We've got a lot of rare breeds as well, haven't we? Chickens, because
Yeah.
that's what we used to breed chickens in the UK, and we sort of bred the most obscure ones that we could find, didn't we? Whatever eggs that we could get hold of.
Oh yeah.
We just sort of hatch and then went from there. So we've got a lot of chickens.
A lot of chickens.
Pigs, 3 pigs.
We've got 3 piggy boos.
That's it, is it? At the moment.
For now, yeah. Well, our hornet nest is gone now, so that's...
Yeah, I don't think they're pets though. Okay, so where are we from and what did we do before we came to France? So we're from Portsmouth, that's where we came from, although I'm originally from Yorkshire but moved to Portsmouth when I was sort of 10 or something like that. So that's where we were before. And work, I was, as well as the gardening, I'm actually a qualified chef. So I've been doing both of those things since school, really. So I was working as a chef and I was actually working offshore in the oil rigs for BP in the catering team there. You were hairdressing?
Yeah.
Hairdresser?
I'm a hairdresser. And we did, I've been in catering as well, so silver service. But yeah, I'm a hairdresser.
So the big question that we've got from a lot of you, and we still get now from most people that we meet, is why did you move to France?
Ooh.
And to be honest, there's no big philosophy behind it, is there? It was purely based on price.
Money. Ultimately.
We've been here, 4 years, so maybe we bought 4.5 years ago. And at that time was when it was so hard, especially in the UK, to get a mortgage. It was like, it's a lot better now, but at the time it was like they wanted huge deposit and like sparkling credit history, and it was just so unobtainable.
Yeah.
And we were saving anyway, in hope, but I think I just started looking at all of our options, didn't I?
Well,
just from living on a boat to caravan to Scotland to literally everywhere, whatever we could afford.
But hang
France.
On, you missed out the containers. Converting shipping containers.
Shipping
we were
container
actually
homes,
really considering that.
Just anything just to get on the ladder, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just wanted to be homeowners.
Sort of started to look at France. A few popped up for quite a good price. Well, I say quite a good price. Our budget was so low.
Yeah, it was.
So I think we had a budget of at the time about £15,000 we were looking at around that sort of area, because that was a deposit for a house, and we thought, right, if we can buy somewhere for that, brilliant. So the properties that we were looking at in France were ruins, a lot of them, weren't we?
The adverts as well, totally
misleading. Yeah,
so misleading.
And we didn't even have a particular place in France. We just thought, right, the whole of France, wherever we can afford. And a lot of properties come up in this area because it's one of the cheaper areas. I guess it's based on work and sort of being rural and stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, I think, definitely, but it's on the up and coming, definitely.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But yeah, so we just moved purely on price, and we came over and viewed a few houses, and they were, for our budget, they were terrible, weren't they? Sort of like two walls and no roof.
Literally just, it was ruins, like absolute ruins.
And then we turned up to this, which was actually over our budget by quite a fair amount.
By a lot, yeah.
And it was just amazing. It was like, we just walked in and we thought, what, we could have all of this. Like, so what we've got is the little bakery house, which you've already seen. This house, which we're in now, which is sort of 3 times the size of the bakery.
Yeah, I would say,
and then we've got a huge barn just opposite us, absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's ginormous.
And then all the land, so we've got about, I forget how much we've got land now, just over an acre.
I think it's around an acre.
Yeah,
something
so
like that. Yeah,
not massive in terms of France, but for us, you know,
it's
when we were looking at
enough.
Little houses with a little tiny courtyard garden, it was just amazing. So we viewed it, and then we second viewed it. And we just said, right, let's put in a very cheeky offer. They probably won't accept it anyway. So we offered £17,000. And I can't remember what it was up for in pounds, but it was 35,000 euros, wasn't it?
Yeah, 35,000 euros.
So 17,000 worked out at 24,000 euros.
At the time, with the conversion.
So we offered like 11 grand less. Thinking, oh, well, they won't accept that, and if not, we'll just move on to the next one, whatever. And they came back to us like 2 days and said, yeah, we'll accept it. I was like, right, okay, cool. And that was that, really.
Yeah.
So we got it for 17,000 plus a little bit, you know, on fees and stuff. But it really did need work. Everything needed work, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we had no water, no electric, never had been water or electric here.
No. We were so naive.
All of the roofs needed work, even if it was just, you know, a little bit, all of them needed work. So we re-roofed completely the little bakery house.
I know, which we totally underestimated the time.
Yeah. But I just remember when we first bought the place and we came over here and we had sort of, I can't remember, a couple of weeks just here settling in and doing the first bit of work and just walking around and going, oh my god, like, what have I done? Like, I have no idea how to do any of this. Like, literally, just didn't know where to start. It was so overwhelming.
Well, it was worse. You were going off to work and
I mean, so that's another reason why we could look wherever we want, because I was working offshore at the time, which meant we weren't really tied down to a specific area because I could just get a flight to work and that's it, you know. But yeah, it all needed work. So it was cheap, but there was nothing here.
It was cheap for a reason.
This was just 4 walls of a barn, wasn't it, and a dodgy roof. Like, nothing.
But also, our chickens had a big impact on us as well. Like, we had the chickens in the UK, and obviously all these little kind of like 2 up, 2 down terraces that we were looking at, which in reality was the only thing that we were ever going to be able to actually have, was, you know, in the deeds of the house you couldn't have chickens, and you couldn't, and it was like, oh, I didn't want to part with our babies.
So what have we got on the plans for the building? So we've got, in effect, we've got 3 buildings and a stable block attached to one of the buildings. So we've got the little bakery house, this barn that we're in, which actually is 10 metres by 6 metres, the floor print. Then we've got the big barn, which is double this probably. Huge.
Easily double this. And the
it's
height.
about 4 floors high.
Yeah.
And then there's a stable block attached to that, which is sort of 3 separate stables. And then, like I say, we've got about an acre of land on top of that, and that's, you know, all that acre sort of spread out all around the buildings.
It's nice because we've got almost like our own little estate where the buildings are kind of, you know, in situ, which is really good. I love it. Yeah. And the view is incredible. Yeah. Like, wow.
So the plans for the buildings, well, originally when we first came, we moved into the little house, and that's not because it was habitable, that's because it was the smallest space that we could get done really quickly. So we literally just laid a quick floor down, I put loads of sand down, insulation boards on top, glued plasterboard to the walls, stuck in a log burner, and that's it. And we had this tiny room which had kitchen, front room, shower and toilet, dining room, you know, like tables flipped out and stuff like that.
We did really well though, like really well for the space that we had, and we lived in that for what, a year and a half? Yeah,
but obviously we couldn't have kids in there, so when we found out we were having Jack, it was like, right, we need to get out of here, we need more space, you know, we can't just be in one room. So when we first bought the property, we were going to do the big barn as our house. So it's going to be a slow project and we just chip away at it, and then all of a sudden we didn't have time to do that. So we thought, right, next best thing, we'll do the second building, the second biggest building.
Well, you'd already done kind of 2 guest rooms upstairs. Well,
yeah, I'd started boarding it out
slightly. Yeah.
I'll put some pictures of what it was like just as we started, because I've got that picture of where it's just all the beams all exposed, and just before I started boarding out. And we got this done. Obviously, it's not nearly finished, but we got this done to a habitable state.
Well, yeah, to a reasonable standard. But we were really strict with ourselves, though. We didn't go anywhere for about 6 weeks, did we? Yeah, like,
we just said to everyone, look, we're not going out, we're not spending any money, we're just literally every day we'll get up, first thing in the morning, work, at night, that's it. No going out to restaurants, nothing. We're just cracking on purely on this.
And that was from what? From end of January, I think we did that, and then I had Jack the beginning of April. Yeah. And so we just went for it, didn't we? Yeah. I was heavily pregnant, and we just went for it.
The morning you went into labour, we were still living in the little house.
Our bed and everything was still up there.
So we hadn't even moved in here yet because he was a little bit early. So when we brought him back from the hospital, we literally moved in here. I raced around the day before and got a bed up and whatever, and that was it. It was a bit rough and ready, wasn't it?
Was so crazy bringing him back, but he's all right.
Yeah.
I don't think he suffered at all.
So now, obviously, we're going to connect the little bakery house to this house because it's really close, which we've already started doing. Made a little corridor, so that's going to extend the footprint of this. And then with a big barn, I think we're thinking like a bit of a games room in there and workshop, that sort of thing, aren't we?
Yeah, I really want a gym in there as well.
And he wants a gym. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, games.
Dust.
Shut you. Games room and
just something.
Maybe like a cinema room, just something for like when our friends come around and when the boys are older as well. Yeah,
something for the kids, and they can invite their friends over and have a bit of space over there,
and then they don't have to come into the house, and it's.
And for the land, we just haven't had. It's been such a last priority, the land, isn't it? Like any sort of garden. I mean, we've planted a few things, a few trees to get structure into the garden, so they can be growing in the background while we're sort of working on the house. But a lot of them have died, haven't they? Yeah.
We've had lots of droughts this last 2 years.
I dug a pond with the digger, a little pond, so that's still there. We've still got a landscape all that in and put a nice bridge over it and stuff like that. The only thing really that's in place is the pig area right at the back, and then next to that the kids have got a little fenced off play area with like slides and trampoline and stuff.
But
other than that, we just haven't done anything, have we?
No.
And we're scared to do anything because I don't want to do something 3 or 4 times, you know, especially in terms of planting. It's not good to move the plants and stuff like that. So when we can really concentrate on it and think, right, plan it, this is exactly what's happening, then we can start to plant stuff and work on it. But at the moment, we're just keeping the grass down and, well, not even that half the time, but
we'll just have this bit of a meadow. Just
doing the best we can, really, because it's such a non-priority in terms of the house. But to
be fair, you've been working every hour God sends.
Yeah, so I don't know, you've had time,
Yeah, there's been no time to actually work on the property or land, so yeah. So
a lot of people are asking about a tour of the property to show them what else we've got and what's in relevance, you know, the distances and the size and stuff. So we haven't done that yet because one, we've got to clear up a bit because there's just junk everywhere.
Yeah, there is.
To sort of look reasonable and get a clear view of everything.
Yeah.
And 2, we've got a friend who does drone photography. So he's agreed that he's going to come and do some nice shots from above and sort of sweeping away, and then everyone can get a real nice sense of it. So we're just waiting for that. So we are going to do it. Hopefully, I'd say in the next couple of weeks, maybe we can get that up.
It'd be nice to do it before the bad weather hits.
Yeah.
Well, not bad weather, you know what I mean, before it really starts to get...
So we are going to do that and get that together just as soon as possible, so stay tuned for that one. Someone said, how long do you think the renovation will last?
Oh my...
Probably...
Forever?
I don't think it'll have an end, will it? I mean, we're already... Because when we first came here, I didn't have really any building experience as such. You know, I'm a bit minded that way, you know. I've got sort of the mind for it.
You can turn your hand to everything.
But, like, when we did the little house, we just did it quickly and we didn't really know what I was doing. And then when we started this house, I had a bit more of the knowledge but still made mistakes. Actually, we're finding ourselves already thinking,
let's change this.
Let's change this. Let's take that out and do it properly. Let's take that wall off and put more insulation in and stuff like that. So it's going to take a long time, I think. I mean, was our main reasoning to sort of doing these vlogs and trying to raise a bit of money, just to help speed the process. I mean, we're still going to do everything ourselves. I don't think we're ever thinking like,
oh no,
you know, get a load of money in and pay someone else to do it. We still want to do it all ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just to help speed up that time frame, I think, because it could drag out forever, couldn't it? But
yeah, I don't want it to drag out forever.
Yeah, I'd like by winter, I'd like that little house to be finished, all joined into this house, and get the heating sorted as well.
It needs to be, because it's already freezing.
I mean,
it's already so cold in here.
In the kids' rooms, they're fine because we made sure they were fully insulated and they've got electric underfloor heating, so they're fine for winter. But the problem is, and when we give you a tour, you'll see that there's a lot of open space here. We've got a mezzanine just above us. It all is sort of open plan, which is great, but we've still got the old log burner in here, and it just isn't enough to heat the house.
It's not enough, no. It's, no.
So
it tries, but no, it's not enough. Blankets
and plus at night as well, obviously the log burner goes out, so you wake up in the morning, and in winters here are really harsh, so it's like 5 degrees in the house or something. The kids have to stay upstairs in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Well, I come down here, light the fire, get a bit of heat in, and then they can come down sort of with a blanket. So
it's just a reality.
It'd be nice.
It's hard.
We've looked into these.
The pellet stoves.
Pellet stoves.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of thinking about maybe doing a GoFundMe to help us with that, because they are quite expensive, but it's something that's ecological. It would heat this whole space.
Pretty much the whole house, some of them, isn't it?
And it's a lot cleaner burning, because a wood burner, isn't really great for the kids. Obviously, it's a hot hazard.
Really dusty.
It's massively hot. Even with a fire going on, you still worry. it's dusty and smoky when you open the door and stuff. So,
but also it lets all the heat out when you're in and out with the wheelbarrow, bringing in wood, and then it's just so messy and so cold. Yeah. It's just so cold in the mornings already, and we're only in like literally the beginning of September. So that's.
Someone asked about speaking French because they heard me in one of the videos speaking French. We didn't have any French before we moved.
I literally had bonjour.
Yeah, I had maybe a very tiny bit of school French, but to be honest, we've since learned that half of the stuff that you learn in school isn't even really the right way to say it, is it? Or it isn't how they would say it.
No.
Even, you know, maybe they'd understand, but they wouldn't say it. So I just learned just by being here, really. And our neighbours
are so good as well with us. They've been so patient, haven't they? And really.
And they were round all through the renovation, you know, when we first moved over, and helping out.
With the little
and they
house,
can speak no English, so you picked up sort of little words like that, and just getting out and about, really.
Although your French is far superior to mine.
Yeah, yours is not very good.
I do try. Although I managed in the hospitals and stuff, giving birth, but
yeah.
I get by. I'm confident to go out and about now. I do try, and I think that's the main thing as well. Like I really do try, and sometimes it's the simplest things that they don't understand you with, and it's crazy. But I
think
I'm pushing to be better.
The biggest thing when we moved was getting over that fear of
just leaving the house. Literally just leaving the house,
bumping into neighbours,
literally, you'd
going
hide from
into
the neighbour.
a shop, or just walking into a restaurant because
no, we didn't do that.
You were scared to death that someone was going to talk to you, and it sounds
ridiculous.
It sounds weird, and until you've been in that situation, you just can't understand it. But you're just terrified someone's going to say something to you, and you're just not going to understand, or you're going to have to say what, and they're going to, it's a weird sort of fear of it. But it takes a long time to get over that.
It does.
I think once
we
you get
didn't go
over
out for ages, did we? Other than to the supermarket.
We went out, but we didn't make full use of what was around us or the experience, did we?
Or even asking in Brickos and stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's about it, really. Someone asked how far away are we from Leland? And we're about 20 minutes drive from there. Yeah. So not too far, really. And especially in France terms, that's like neighbours, isn't it?
That's basically next door. Yeah.
Everywhere's a drive in France.
Everywhere's half an hour away, at least. So, yeah, definitely. It's doorstep.
Someone said about the history of the buildings. Do we know much? And actually, we don't know a massive amount because...
No.
I don't know, there's so many of these old barns and buildings in France that... I guess if we're in the UK, these would be listed, and then there'd be history, and they'd be protected. But here, France is littered with them. So, obviously, we know the little house used to be a bakery. We know that because people whose family have lived in this area for generations have told us that. And there's pointers that it was a bakery, i.e. you can see where the oven used to be and stuff like that.
One of the people that live up the road as well has said that their great grandmother, there's a picture of her stood outside the little house. There's a picture of her as a little girl stood outside the little house. That was the local bakery for this little village.
So, and this that we're in is all one space now, but actually used to be two smaller houses. With a wall in the middle, and then the big barn. I think the way it kind of worked was that these two houses shared that barn or something like that.
Must have been, yeah.
This system is
animals.
We've seen it the same: two houses, barn opposite; two houses, barn opposite. So the big barn, and you'll see when we do the tour, used to have about 5 floors in it, go right to the top. So I'm guessing that would have been hay and grain and stuff like that. I don't think anyone ever lived in it, even when it was first built. I know that some barns, a few hundred years ago, they used to sort of live above the animals and stuff, but I don't think that was the case. I think it was purely for agriculture, and that was it.
Well, there's troughs and stuff in there, isn't there, on the bottom that were there?
There are troughs, yeah, but they're not as old as the building.
Oh, okay.
Maybe there were troughs originally and since been knocked out.
Yeah,
a lot happens over time, doesn't it? But yeah, so we don't know too much. We've seen it on a very, very old map, which was hand drawn. And I think that was about 1840, and all you can see is sort of dots where all our buildings were. So I guess if it was on that, you know, I mean, I don't know, it could be over 200 years old, but it's going to be at least easy. 200.
We've got 2 wells as well.
Yeah, we've got 2 wells, one at the back, which actually only collects rainwater, so it's no good because obviously the rainwater can go stagnant and get bacteria or legionnaires or something like that, so it's not really, I think we're going to end up filling it in.
Yeah, it only got damaged, I think, because of, there's a tree literally growing, there's a beautiful tree right out the side, isn't it?
Mm.
Which I think the roots maybe have...
Possibly, yeah. But we've got one at the front, which is a working well, so that is stone built by hand, so I'm not sure how they did it. I don't know if they sort of dug a bit, put the stone in, dug a bit, put the stone in. I don't know. I don't know how they do it really. But that's about 15 metres deep, and at the bottom of that it connects to a water source, so a fresh water source.
Yeah. So
it constantly replenishes and is always fresh water. So we haven't really made use of that as of yet, but I think we'll attach some sort of watering system to it for the garden.
Yeah, definitely.
Once we sort of get round to that. Because it's a shame not to use it, obviously. And we did use it when we first came, just because we had no water whatsoever.
Yeah, no, like 0 water for the washing.
Yeah.
Washing up.
So we were just pulling rope and a bucket down, pulling it up, and then we'd leave them buckets out in the sun, and you've seen the picture that we put up on Instagram of me having the shower under the tarp.
Yeah, that was live.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was rough. There's no other way to describe that.
I think that's about it, really.
Oh, hang on, I've got one more. A lot of people have been asking if, in our first vlog, the pigs getting out, if that was like a setup, if the pigs were let out on purpose. I can 100% guarantee you, no. They got out by themselves. That was not a setup. That was a nightmare, if I'm honest. It was worrying, but funny, but thank God they came straight back. Yeah,
so nothing, anything that you see in our vlogs is literally just...
Literally
following what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, we're not doing anything special just because it's a vlog. It's just, you know, maybe Annalise will put on her phone voice or something, but other than that, it's just doing what we're doing, really. So, yeah. So hopefully that's given you a bit more information about ours and why we came here and what we're doing and what our plans are. So just thank you everyone for the support. I mean, obviously thank you for Stephanie to mention in our channel, because it just went crazy overnight, didn't it?
Without Stephanie, it's just thank you to everybody. Yeah,
and thank you everyone that did the GoFundMe. In a day we reached our target.
Literally, honestly, I'm still totally
crazy,
overwhelmed. Literally overwhelmed with the support.
And people were sort of saying, "Oh, you need a bigger target," but for us,
that was a big target.
That would have been so hard to find that extra.
Just unachievable.
That was an extra thing which, you know, if we had to, we'd have had to just leave the beams as they are.
Well, or even just plasterboard over them.
Or paint them or something,
which we didn't want to do, but it's just...
But to have that money now, to just get it, do the thing we wanted, and that's extra, was just amazing. It happened so quick, so thank you everyone for that.
Yeah, just amazing.
Thank you everyone that signed up on Patreon as well, because we just even didn't expect to get as much as we've got so far. I can't believe it. Honestly, I'm just so blown away by just the generosity and just everybody's support. Literally, the support of people is just fantastic. It's amazing. As I said before, you know, getting this, we're not by any means relying on this money or expecting this money, and we're not after an easy life from it. We're just after a bit of help, if we can get it.
A helping hand, yeah.
So we're still going to all the money that we raise through the patrons and GoFundMe, and we're now monetized on YouTube, so hopefully we start getting a bit of money from that. I don't really know how that works.
We're still new to it all.
But so all that money will just go towards the renovation.
Yeah,
basically.
100%.
So I guess if we set a target on GoFundMe, we'll say what specific thing we're gonna buy or do with that money.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess the Patreon and YouTube money will just go towards materials and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing.
I mean, it's such a cost, isn't it? Like every month is just
in one
there's
hand
something
out the
to
other.
buy. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, there's always something to buy, and it all costs money. And obviously, trying to do it ourselves to save money, as well. You know, save the labour, but it's just not always. You can't always do something for free. It's, you know,
it's been a labour of love, and you know, it's continued labour of love to make our, you know, this house a home for our boys, and a home for, just a home for.
And we've no plans to leave, I wouldn't say.
No, not yet.
You know, we put so much into this, literally
blood, sweat and tears.
Every inch of these buildings and land I know. So it's like it'd be crazy to move, you know, unless someone wants to buy us a chateau or something, and we'll join the chateau club and you know,
a little
go that
one.
way.
We'll have a little chateau.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to sell this though if we did.
I know. Yeah.
I think it's been just it's our project, you know. This is our first home. It's our first. We've had our children here, and it's the memories that we've had of, you know, starting off showering in a tarpaulin tent outside to
the life we can create here when
it's
all done. This is more than we could ever
imagined
and ever afford, you know, anywhere else. So it's, you know, it's good in that way. So yeah, so thanks all for watching. Hopefully it's answered some of your questions and you know a bit more about us now. So we're going to plan on doing a vlog, I think, once a week at the moment.
Yeah,
we may do a midweek one once we get settled, but obviously so much time, the editing and all stuff like that, you know, as well as working all week and then doing the renovation. It's a lot. So I think we're going to try and go for every Sunday. Yeah,
I think that works. It works quite well for us.
We might start premieres. I don't know, to see how it goes, I guess.
Well, I don't know, yeah.
It depends on the upload time and if we can get up in time and all that sort of stuff.
There's been positive feedback on having a premiere, so I think that, we'll see. You know, it's a learning curve for us still, isn't it? And we're new to this, and feedback and everything is just appreciated so much.
Good. Right, thank you for watching. Good night.
Good night.